Okay guys, so we are going to start with push-ups. Now, before we even get to push-ups, make sure you guys spend at least 5 to 10 minutes doing some shoulder mobility before you start training. So have a look at my video. I'll try and put the link to my YouTube video for some of the upper body mobilities you can apply, or my Instagram video. So yeah, the aim of the push-ups is to do about 50 reps. That's right, 50. No half rep in these. I'm talking full solid reps all the way down to the floor and back up. Now just watch how my elbows are slightly closer to my body and not aligned with my delts. This puts less pressure on delts and focuses on chest. And make sure you are close to the ground, that you can almost kiss the ground when you're going down into the when you're going downwards. Don't have your elbows too close to your body, however, as that means more emphasis on triceps, which is what we don't want. So not too close, and again not aligned too far out with your shoulders. The whole idea is to pre-exhaust the chest before the main workout. I've always done this before training chest. I usually do press-ups or cable flies. I find that it's the triceps and shoulders that fatigue before your chest, so before your chest when training. However, pre-exhausting the chest means it will fatigue equally. So we are now on to the bench press. Before we start benching, I want to emphasize that this workout is all about time under tension, no ego lifting, focus on tempo, and also focus on contracting the chest every single rep. Each set the tempo changes, so make sure you don't go too heavy on weight, as you will understand why when we get to the workouts. I'll write in the description box below the exercises, sets, rest, and also the tempo. So let's begin. So with the bench press, we will be aiming to do 4 sets on the bench press, and then we will be supersetting with dumbbell incline flies. So with the first set on the bench press, we will be doing 15 reps at a 2-second eccentric tempo. What that means is when bringing the bar down towards your chest, it will take you 2 seconds. So count it out loud if you need to, or count it in your head, 1, 2, and all the way back up, as you can see in the video. And then after 15 reps, we will be supersetting with dumbbell flies with a 2-second eccentric and a 1 to 2 second squeeze off the dumbbells at the top of the movement, again as you can see in the video. With the dumbbell flies, we will be doing 12 reps on all 4 sets. So you'll be supersetting every time you do a bench press. Every set you will superset with the dumbbell flies. And so we're back onto the second set on the bench, and we're aiming for a 3-second tempo. The second set of the bench press, and the third set we're aiming for 12 reps at a 3-second tempo. And again, watch how slowly I'm going with the bar on the eccentric, making sure to maintain tension on the chest. With the fourth set, we will be doing 10 reps at a 5-second tempo. Now remember, I told you about not going too crazy with the weights. Now with a 5-second, yes, 5 seconds, that makes it a lot more challenging. So some of you are probably wondering why slow. So why am I going so slow on the eccentric? Well, the longer we can keep the muscle under tension, the more muscle fibers we're recruiting to assist the movement, which leads to hypertrophy. Hence, the longer you can keep the muscle under tension, the better. Now we're on to third exercise, which will be the pyramid dumbbell press, flat bench superset with dumbbell twist flies. I know that sounds weird, but I will explain that in the video. So we'll start with the pyramid press. I have always done the pyramid press because it puts less strain on my delts and also allows me to fully contract my chest at the top of the movement. Make sure to keep the elbows at a slight angle and not aligned with your delts. We are aiming for a 2-second eccentric and I would say 1 to 2 second hold at the top of the movement. Make sure, as you can see in the video, to focus on squeezing both dumbbells together. As you can see, my chest fully contracts when I do that. So when you come down and you go up again, squeeze the dumbbells for 2 seconds. Why squeezing the dumbbells? Well, if you squeeze the dumbbells, that automatically contracts your chest, so you don't have to actually contract. Focus on your chest when you're at the top of the movement. Focus all your tension on those dumbbells, and that would, again, as you can see in the video, squeeze your chest together. Now we're on to dumbbell twist flies. The difference with these and a normal dumbbell flies are you will be twisting the ends of both dumbbells together, as you can see I'm doing in the video, and as you can see with my chest, it's fully contracted when I do that. So really squeeze the dumbbell together to get a full contraction on your chest. On both these movements, we are aiming for 2-second eccentric on the first and second set, and a 1 to 2 second squeeze of the dumbbells at the top of the movement. So at the top of the movement, you want to hold it for 1 to 2 seconds, and then when you going back down into the eccentric phase, you want to take about 2 seconds. And then when you get to the third set, you want to take a 3-second eccentric and a 1 to 2 second squeeze at the top. And I put an alternative for you guys also, so this will be on the floor. So if you have shoulder issues or you tend to overextend at the bottom of the movement on the bench, trust me, it makes a big difference. I actually like to do both, so alternate with bench and the floor, or you can do bench 1 week and then do these movements on the floor the next week. And the next exercise, we'll be doing ring press ups supersetting with bench dumbbell close grip press. Now with the ring press ups, again, the same principles with normal press ups. Elbows, bring your elbows in close to the body but not too close, so but you don't also want it to be too wide, so it shouldn't be aligned with your shoulders. Aiming for a 2-second eccentric and push back up as quick as you can. These are tough but really good for also working on stability, so expect it to feel strange at first, and you will probably shake a little bit when you start doing this, but you will get used to it eventually. And also, to make it slightly more difficult, I have given you a second version, which is feet elevated with a bench, or you can use a box. If you don't have rings where you train, putting 2 benches or 2 boxes close together does the trick. It won't be as hard as using rings, but still better than nothing. And then we'll be on to supersetting with close grip dumbbell press. Now this is another one where some of you might not know how it works, but I'm going to explain to you what to do. So hold the dumbbells, as you can see in the video, close together over your chest, elbows close at all times. So now this one, you're going to have your elbows really close to your body when you bring the weight dumbbells down. Again, we're going to aim for 2-second eccentric, hold for about a second at the top of the movement, Remember, just like the dumbbell pyramid press, rather than trying to squeeze your chest at the top of the movement, squeeze the dumbbell together as hard as you can. Like I always say, squeeze the hell out of it like it owes you money, literally. Aim for about 3 sets on both the press ups on the rings and the dumbbell close grip press. Keep the rest pretty short, so I will aim for 40-second rest. Most of these exercises I'll aim for about 45 to 60 seconds on the rest ranges as well, if I haven't put that there, if I haven't included that. On the 5th and final workout, we're going to do some decline push-ups. I know what you guys are thinking, this dude loves push-ups. And yes, I do. This time we'll be finishing with, again, a decline push-up on a 30-inch box. So we're aiming for 50 push-ups again. However, we'll be breaking it down by 5 sets times 10 reps. Few things. Keep the rest short between each set, so about 20 seconds, no more. And also, like I said in the first push-up, make sure you can almost kiss the floor. But if, like me, your chest is twice the size, towards the end of a workout, make sure your chest touches the floor, because that's more likely to touch the floor before your face gets anywhere near the floor. So with the first set, we're aiming for 2-second eccentric, so 1, 2 down and push up. The second set, we're aiming for 3-second eccentric. The third set, we're aiming for 4-second eccentric, so 1, 2, 3, 4, push up as quick as you can. The fourth one, we're aiming for 5 seconds, and then on the 5th and final one, we're aiming to go as quick as you can. Now with this, yes, on the 5th one, you're aiming for 10 reps. However, if you can do more than 10, keep going till you literally cannot do any more. So till failure. Okay, so before a shoulder session, these are 2 key mobility movements I like to do for my delts. These are great for mobilizing the shoulders and to avoid injuries. If you also have shoulder pain, do these daily, especially before a session. Invest in a good TheraBand as they are cheap, and make sure it's a light resistance, so go for the green or the red. Aim for about 10 reps on each of these exercises. The first exercise we'll be doing is a lateral dumbbell raise. Here is a quick demo of how I like to do my lateral raises. I prefer flaring up my lats, which stops me resting my delts fully on my side, hence keeping the delts under tension even at the bottom of the movement. I also like to keep my elbows slightly bent when raising the dumbbells laterally, aiming to align my elbows with my delts at the top of the movement. When doing some delt exercises, I like to use a false grip, as you can see in the video. When lifting the dumbbell, give this grip a try and you will see exactly what I mean. However, this is just my preference, so stick to what you find more comfortable. Okay, the idea is to do 50 reps, yes, 50 reps, at a 1-second eccentric tempo, doing this as quick as possible with minimal rest. However, rest when needed till all 50 is completed. Pick a light weight for this, as it is going to be quite tough. It might look easy when you do the first 20 reps, but when you start getting into 30 and 40, it gets harder. The lactic acid buildup on your delts makes this a tough one. Okay, we're onto an Arnold press. Here is a slow demo of how I perform this exercise. Keep the dumbbell movement nice and controlled, and when pressing up, avoid locking out fully at the top. On the main workout, we are aiming for 2 to 3 seconds on the eccentric. The rep ranges will change each set, but stick to the same tempo. Then we will superset the Arnold press with a dumbbell shoulder V press. Again, a quick slow demo of this exercise. It's similar to a standard dumbbell press, however the main difference here is rather than pressing upwards, you will press outwards, almost creating a V. As you can see in the video, this version makes it harder due to pushing the dumbbell away from your body. Also stops you using too much triceps when pressing. Keep the weight on this fairly light yet challenging. Trust me, it's a tough one, so don't go crazy heavy. Aim for a 2 to 3 second eccentric tempo when coming back down, and about 12 to 15 reps. Once again, I will be writing down the exercises and tempo and sets in the description box, so you don't have to remember every single one. On the last set of the Arnold press, we will be doing a drop set, aiming for 10 reps each drop. Remember, if you fell before 8 or 9, that's fine, and it's more than likely to happen. And then at the end of the drop set, you will still finish with a dumbbell shoulder V press for about 12 to 15 reps. Side note, one thing I have noticed when doing these workouts without a mirror, it makes you really focus on what you're doing and the muscle you are working. I tried this session with a mirror in a commercial gym and also at a CrossFit box, and it makes a huge difference, but in a good way in my opinion. So try with and without a mirror and see if you feel a difference. Next, we're on to one movement that I find quite interesting, the TRX Y raises. Exercise doesn't look it, but it's a great delt exercise and really targets the anterior, mid and posterior of your delts. So as you can see in the video, standing at a slight angle, slowly raise yourself up with the TRX and try and keep your arms straight and up into a Y position. To make it harder, start further down, almost vertical to the floor. Try and stick to a 3-second tempo on the eccentric phase, and we're aiming for 15 reps each set. You can also alternate with a wide Y TRX raise and a slightly narrow Y TRX raise, as you can see in the video. When coming up, I don't go as wide compared to the first set, so you can alternate each set with one wide and one narrow. You will superset the TRX raise with an incline bench dumbbell lateral raise. I like to keep the bench at a 45-degree angle, sometimes slightly higher. Lying on the bench makes this move slightly harder. As you can see, you cannot use momentum to raise the dumbbells, so your shoulders do a lot of work. If you watch the video, I raise the dumbbell up and make a V shape at the top of the movement rather than bring it up in front. I also again use a false grip on this move and usually aim for a 3-second eccentric tempo on this. Next we are onto a reverse grip rear delt row. I know you think this is a back move, however here's where it's slightly different. First, starting with an underhand grip with the dumbbell away from your body, we are going to roll up, elbow slightly out, and once at the top of the movement, squeeze your rear delts like your life depended on it. If done right, you wouldn't feel your lats at all, but more emphasis on your rear delts. Aim for about a 2-second eccentric and a 1 or 2 second hold and squeeze at the top of the movement. This is one of those movements you just have to try and see if it works for you. If not, stick to a normal bent over lateral raise. We will superset the reverse rows with a lying sideways incline lateral raise. This is a simple lateral raise, but doing it on a bench like this stops you using too much momentum to raise the dumbbell, and it's also more challenging. Try and keep your arms straight, and like my previous lateral raise in the beginning of the video, try not to rest the dumbbell on your side until you complete all 12 reps. Try and keep your arms straight. Stick to a 2 or 3, even 4-second eccentric if you want to make it more challenging. Last exercise, we are doing a triple set of standing dumbbell close grip press, standing dumbbell flies, seated front raises, but we're alternating the front raises. A triple set, if some of you aren't familiar, is doing all 3 exercises with minimal rest in between, and then you rest after that set and then repeat again. So starting with standing dumbbell shoulder press, I like to use a split stance position for stability when doing these. The aim is to do about 10 reps, ideally failing around 9 and using a 2 or 3 second eccentric tempo. Then straight onto the dumbbell fly, which we will be bending our elbows, as you can see in the video, to take away our forearms from the movement, which means your delts shall be doing most of the work. Again, aim for a 2 to 3 second eccentric. Make sure you bring your elbows up and either aligned with your delts or slightly higher than your delts when doing the lateral raises. And then on to lying on an incline bench. We're going to do some front raises for 12 reps, alternating each arm. Again, a 2 to 3 second eccentric. Lying on the bench makes this move slightly harder but more challenging than standing upright. After all 3 exercises are complete, rest and repeat this for another 2 or 3 sets. And that is pretty much the workout for shoulders.